Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs pick up a massive commitment late last night as the Braves were beating the Cardinals, and it's from one of the top playmakers not only in South Georgia, but really in the whole state of Georgia and across the South, and four-star wide receiver Carr, an explosive, fast, twitchy receiver out of Colquitt County. They know how to breed football players down there in South Georgia and Moultrie, and this guy is the next to do it. Now, it's always tough to make a big impact as a sophomore for a major big-time program like that, but that's what he was able to do last year. This is a guy who might not be the biggest wide receiver in the state, just 6 foot, 175 pounds, but the dude can run. He is electric. He accelerates. He knows how to get behind the defense, and he's just a natural receiver. He's a great route runner. He can beat you on inside slants. He could beat you deep. The guy knows how to get open consistently and could do it on his own. So this is a guy who started picking up a lot of offers this spring. When Georgia offered, you kind of knew that they were going to be really tough to beat. I was able to watch him in person at a 7-on-7 tournament at Collins Hill late June, and dude just dominated, helped lead Colquitt County to the championship that day. And the previous day, they won the championship in Athens in the 7-on-7 tournament. And I think that's when the Georgia coaches said, okay, this guy can play. He's only just a rising junior. He's in the 2024 class. He's actually my number 10 ranked player in the state of Georgia for the 24 class, but they had no problem accepting his commitment early on. Georgia was his dream school. He had offers from Florida, Arkansas, and Michigan. We'll probably have just about every offer in the book as time progresses, and he absolutely dominates as a junior. But he had a big year as a sophomore last year, caught 40 passes for 856 yards and 13 touchdowns. So when he caught a pass, he made it count, 21 yards per reception. He was just a big play waiting to happen. He can hurt you in the screen game. Again, he's a vertical threat, just finds a way to get behind defenses, and no one's catching him. When he's in the open field, dude's gone. He's looking for the end zone each and every time. So when you turn on the film, his explosiveness just stands out. He doesn't play like a sophomore. He's just outrunning guys left and right. And he plays in a tough division down there in South Georgia against teams like Valdosta and Lowndes and Camden County. So he plays against the best of the best in South Georgia, and he was just making defenders look silly all last year. So it's easy to see his potential. And again, it's tough to teach guys how to run. You're either fast or you're not. Guys can get faster at the next level, but more often than not, they're getting bigger and stronger. So when you have a guy with track speed, game-changing type of speed like Carr has, you want to get him on board and get him on the commit list early. They did lose a commitment from a 2024 commitment or decommitment. Now, Antoine Jackson, who flipped to Miami, I believe it was last month, about a week ago, maybe a little less than that, but they got one on board now in Carr. So he is Georgia's lone commitment in the 24 class, and again, one of the best in Georgia. So this is a guy who he's got the speed, he's got great hands, and he reminds me of some of these Alabama type of receivers. They're just natural. They've got great body control, great hands, and they're looking to score each time they have the football. I'm not comparing him to Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, John Mechie, but his skill set lines up with those type of guys. And again, he gets open. He's quick in and out of his breaks. He always finds a way to be open. And even when a guy is near him, he knows how to make a tough contested catch. So there's a lot to like about him, and he's only going to get better. I expect him to catch more than 40 passes for Colquitt County this following season. I think they could be one of the true contenders in 7A. Usually it's a North Georgia team, maybe in the Atlanta area, that we've seen over the last few years win that 7A title. I think Buford is probably the team to look out for this year. They're probably the deepest, most talented team in 7A. But if there's anyone in South Georgia who could give them a run, it's Colquitt County. So when I watched him in 7-on-7, he looked like an SEC receiver. He was just doing everything he possibly could against defenses, and no one could stop him. So whether he's putting a double move on a guy or just, again, running right by them, running right by multiple guys, he's a big play waiting to happen, and it's easy to see why Georgia wanted him on board early. So the 2024 class is stronger compared to the 23 class, and I made a video about that earlier. Georgia's not really pushing for a whole lot of guys in the 23 class, but 24 is a lot different. I think it's top heavy, but it's also extremely deep. And overall, there's a lot more talent. Again, Sammy Brown, I think, is the number one player in the country. Excuse me, one of the best players in the country. Number one player in Georgia out of Jefferson, big-time linebacker target. KJ Bolden, another explosive wide receiver who could play some safety out of Buford. He's a five-star kid who also dominates in track and field. Just a super, super fast athlete in general. He's number two. I think Georgia sits in a good spot with him. Daniel Calhoun, Centennial High School in Roswell. Big offensive tackle prospect that I really like. Zion Reagans is another track star, explosive wide receiver out of Jones County in Middle Georgia that I think Georgia's in a good spot for. And then Landon Thomas, teammate at Colquitt County of Carr. He's Georgia's top tight end target in the 24 class, and I think they sit in an excellent position with him. He also was really impressive during that 7-on-7 that I saw last month. So big time pickup for Georgia. This is a guy that makes plays. He's going to do it again for Colquitt County this year as a junior, and he still has 2 years left. So as good as he looked and as much as he flashed last year as a sophomore, the guy's only going to get better. So if you're a Georgia fan, you don't know much about him, turn on the film. You're going to like what you see. Big time prospect, and I think he could push for 5-star status. I have him right now as the number 10 prospect in Georgia. I think that ranking will probably go up when I update that after seeing him in person, seeing what he can do. His ability to just move and change directions and get open. He's not, a one-trick pony at receiver. He's not just some big possession receiver who can't run, but he's also not just a track star. He's a natural receiver who, again, is going to get better and better, is coached by one of the best coaching staffs in the state of Georgia. So the future is very bright for him, and he decided to end his commitment early. When you have an offer from your dream school, reigning national champions, in-state program, a lot of kids are going to jump on that, and that's exactly what he did. So South Georgia is full of big-time players as always, and Colquitt County is loaded with some, and he is one of the best players on that loaded roster. He'll just be a junior, so if you're in South Georgia watching this, you want to go see a future Bulldog, make a lot of plays. Carr is your guy. He's on the commit list. He's the only commitment right now in the 24 class, but I expect that to be a giant, massive class for Georgia, especially in state. So while 23 maybe a little down to what Georgia fans are come to expect from Kirby Smart on the recruiting trail, the 2024 class shaping up early on should be a very, very good one. And they have one of the best on board in Carr out of Colquitt County. Guys, thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I'll see you over on Dog Post.